So how can Filipinos navigate towards career success amid various issues stemming from economic uncertainties to developments in tech? Career mogul Jonathan Yabut joins us now live in the studio. Jonathan, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Rico.
It's been more than a decade since we last saw each other.
Yes.
Since you won Apprentice Asia.
That is correct.
And that basically set off your career.
It was life-changing. It catapulted me to greater heights. So I'm very thankful for that opportunity.
You worked initially with Air Asia.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
And then it opened a lot of other doors. Now you've been dubbed Asia's Millennial Guru. And of course, a very important motivational speaker. What decided you to move from the corporate career, to being a motivational speaker?
Since I was in high school, I always wanted to be part of public service. So just to give an idea, Tony and I didn't really part ways well because he was disappointed that I would start my career in Air Asia. But I said I had to leave because I wanted to enter public service at some point. And in order for me to do that...
He wanted you to stay on forever.
Forever. Because I also said in the show that I wanted to become the CEO of Air Asia. But that was also part of the show. But also I said, I have to become an entrepreneur of my own. I want to achieve greater heights. And one way of that is to also, share my thoughts on business, motivation, and career success.
And you have really inspired a lot of people throughout the past 10 years. And you have written quite a number of books, From Grit to Great, Fast Forward, Single, Taken, or Building My Empire. And your latest publication is, Everything Will Be All Right. Why will everything be all right when you're a startup or when you're burning so much cash? But to be able to succeed in business, you also have to fail.
But you also need optimism. And so you need someone to remind you, yes, a lot of things are unpredictable, but you have to hang on to that part. So this book was a post-pandemic book. And so it's a reminder of, a fleeting moment of, yes, things may be bad, but you always have to look for the brighter side. Everything's going to be all right.
Everyone looks at the brighter side. Are Filipinos always looking at the brighter side despite all the challenges that they face?
Not these days, I've noticed. But I think there's something about the DNA about the Filipino, which is we know how to cope. We know how to use laughter. We know how to use our social network. And that also comes with success. I think a lot of companies become successful because the talents themselves hold things up. Your CEO might not be the best person in town, but the employees themselves are able to build a good connection and network. They make the companies afloat. And I think a lot of Filipino companies are able to benefit from that also.
And for those Filipinos, our kababayans, who are at a loss in their career, they don't know their career path, which job they would take on next, or they just lost their job because the company just needs to cut back on headcount. How do they find their direction once again?
I always say that if you're losing motivation for your career, you have to treat motivation like a financial asset. So if let's say you have 50 million pesos, you don't put that into your savings account. You put that into what? Equities, real estate, insurance, etc. You diversify. So that if one asset does not do well, you have other assets to lean onto. Motivation is also like that. You don't put your motivation only into one person or into one event or even a company. You have to diversify. You have your friends and loved ones. You have your cooking. You have your travel. If one of them is taken away from you, you have other baskets to lean onto.
Diversification is really very important, and you also have to be very proactive.
That's right.
You just cannot wait for opportunities to fall on your lap. You really have to look for opportunities everywhere.
That's right. If you can't find a basket, you have to create that basket yourself.
But do people succeed that way in many ways?
I think so. I'll give an example. When you look at people's career and people ask me, what are the two things that people need to step up? Since, let's say, for example, technology changes your career, AI changes your career.
Yeah.
Two things. You have to be good with your communication skills. And I've often seen this. There are so many smart people in this world, but they don't know how to convey their message. So great ideas in startup companies, but they can't put it into PowerPoint slides. Like a quick PowerPoint slide presentation, for example.
So for those who are shy, for those who really can't speak, just what should they do? How should they improve those skill sets?
You can do your coaching, of course, because practice. Remember, communication is a skill. It's not a talent. It's not something that you're innate with and you're born with. So you can learn that all the time. Also, extroverts, it's not true that extroverts can only succeed. Introverts also can. The best startup founders these days, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and all these guys were introverts. But they were able to surround themselves with the right people who can speak for them. Or they surround themselves with the right employees who can do things also for them.
You mentioned two key words earlier, Jonathan, technology and artificial intelligence. A lot of people are scared about artificial intelligence, that our skill sets will be overtaken by computers.
That's right.
By technology, and they will take on our jobs. How should our kababayans face these new challenges?
Remember, AI is not going to replace you, but a person who knows how to use AI will. So when AI is there, you have to catch on the technology and learn it yourself. When the ATM came in, people were afraid that bank tellers would lose their jobs. But that didn't happen. Why? Because when ATMs came in, people found out other products for banking, for finances. So everyone is resilient. There's always going to be a new product to work on, but you have to catch on that new technology. The question is, are you able to be abreast with new technologies?
Keeping yourself abreast by reskilling and upskilling.
That's right.
Especially with the latest technologies. Are you also doing the same thing?
Of course. During pandemic, we've been doing a lot of virtual sessions. That was the only way for us to survive, since we've done a lot of our events on site also.
So if you upskill and reskill, everything will be all right.
That's right.
So when can we expect the next publication from Jonathan Yabut?
In 2 years, we're doing a book about leadership. So the title is on its way. We're thinking of the title as Lead Like You Mean It. But the idea is, I think leadership is lacking in the country. I think there's a lot of organizations, both in the government and also in the private sector, wherein leadership is perceived to be about, here's who I am, I'm in the position, therefore just follow me. Leadership by virtue of fear, I think, is rampant in the country. And I think we need to lead based on inspiration and incentives instead.
Congratulations on your success, and it's great to see you again after
Thank you,
10 years. Jonathan Yabut, author, Apprentice Asia winner, Asia's millennial guru, and motivational speaker. Great to have you with us on The Final Word.